In this SUP board video, we're going to take a quick look at the full Aqua Marina range for 2019, looking at all of their boards, some of the paddles and some of their accessories as well. Whether you're familiar with the Aqua Marina brand or you're getting into SUP for the first time, the Aqua Marina is a board that you're going to come across when you search on the internet all around the world. They make a pretty big range of boards, and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of that range, starting off at the smallest boards up to the longest, fastest boards. We did quite a few standalone reviews for some of these boards in 2018, and there has been some subtle changes definitely we've noticed to the shape and the design and the actual finish of the boards in 2019. So this video is going to be an overview of all of the boards, but look out for a real comparison review of the advanced all-round boards and also a standalone review of the race 14-foot board as well. So I'm going to start off by talking about the cheapest price point board, moving up in size, and also talking about the specifications and who would be best suited for that board as well. I'm going to give you all of the prices in GB pounds just because there's so many of you all around the world going to be watching this review. I'm not going to be able to cater all of the retail prices around the world, but you can get a rough idea from the one price what they all go from there. They're all very good competitive price point boards, and they are sitting at a very competitive price on the market, and they are widely available across the internet. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, it really makes a difference, and check out SUP Boarder Mag and SUP Boarder Pro for loads more SUP good stuff. So first off, if you're looking at the all-round range of boards, you'll notice on the website there's an all-round range and there's an advanced all-round range. Basically, the simple way to think about that is the all-round range is actually a bit narrower base boards. They don't do anything wider than 30 wide. The advanced all-round range go from 30 up to 33, so they're a much wider base board. You're going to get more usability out of that range. Having said that, the all-round range retail at a very, very good price point at £339. They're all, as I said, a little bit narrower in width. They're definitely designed for more of the lighter weight paddlers. If you're sub 90 kg, really around the 80, 75 kg, great if you're an entry-level supper and you're just getting into the sport, you don't really want to commit that much money. The construction and the finish of the board is still very similar to the more expensive boards, but the deck pad is a little bit more basic, and also you'll find the smaller boards, they're not as thick, so they're not going to take as much weight as well. The board we tested is the Fusion, which is 10'4" long and 30 wide and 6 inches thick, so it's fairly stiff for its thickness. The other boards in that range aren't as thick, so they're not going to be as stiff to paddle on the water. So that's the more basic all-round range of boards, and then moving up from that you've got the advanced all-round boards. Now this consists of 5 boards starting at 10'4" long, going up to 12 foot long, width 31 wide up to 33 wide. So there's a large range of boards there to suit a lot of different people. We're going to do a full comparison review of those 5 boards, so look out for that on SUP Boarder soon. But really this range of boards does look up a grade from the more basic all-round boards. The graphics are better off finished, the deck pads are nicer, a lot of these boards have got tail kick pads in them. We reviewed a lot of these shapes last year and they have improved the shapes from last year. The rocker line is much flatter, making the board much easier to paddle, and again the graphics are really good in this range. The beast, still for me, the 10.6, which is the middle of the road board that most of you are probably going to be looking at, is the standout graphic board. Really good price points for those boards. It's more expensive than the basic all-round boards, starting up at about £410 to about £500, but a very competitive range of boards again. And a lot of those online are available as packages with paddles, pumps and bags, the whole lot to get you paddling for the first time. So very competitive, good looking all-round board. The advanced all-round range of boards are going to take riders from up to 100 kg on the Thrive to 130 kg plus on the Atlas. A board that we did a full review on last year, and it's exactly the same this year, is the Rapid. It's the whitewater board, and you can also take it surfing as well. It's 9'6" long, it's 33 inches wide, so it's a super stable board for its length, and it's 6 inches thick. It's got a good amount of volume in the board, so it can take riders up to about 100 kg, and it retails at £539. Our reviewer, Ben Payne, our whitewater tester, really liked that board, really liked the setup, and then he actually said to get into whitewater paddling, that is a very, very good price point board, and it performed really well when he was paddling it. And also, again, remember, you can take that board surfing as well. So if you're looking for a more compact board to do a bit of whitewater, maybe a bit of surfing, mucking about in some moving water states, that sort of board is the Rapid is the board you should be looking at. So moving on now to their touring boards, which are a little bit longer, easier to paddle in a straight line and longer distances, and they can carry your equipment at the front and at the back with the bungees. They have the Hyper, which is available in 11.6x31 and a 12.6x32. The longer the board, the more weight you can carry, and also the easier it's going to be to paddle at longer distances. This is a double chamber board, which is where you might have seen in other brands. They have an internal PVC chamber, which is separate to the outside of the board, so you pump up the inside first and then you inflate the outside. That does two things. It gives you a bit of extra safety. If you find you get a puncture in your board, the whole board doesn't deflate. It's very, very unlikely, but it is there just in case. But really it adds a lot to the stiffness. So a double chamber board is way stiffer than a single chamber board. These boards retail at £539 and £589 for the bigger 12.6. They're going to be a great board to get you into just paddling longer distances and finding it easier to paddle than the smaller, shorter, not so performance all-round boards. A lot of you are getting into the sport. Maybe you might realise you just want to do flat water paddling. You're not really interested in going to the surf or anything. Then really the touring boards, especially the 32 wide 12.6, it's a very good board for you to get into the sport and be able to cover some ground as well. These boards also come with Aqua Marina's tail strip, which is at the back of the board there, just to help the release of the water so it doesn't produce as much drag when you're paddling along. Paddler wise, the 11.6 up to about 115 kilos, and the 12.6 take a little bit more weight, up to about 120 kilos. And looking at Aqua Marina's race boards, they've got a 14x27 and a 12.6x26. We're going to do a full review of the 14x27 very soon, so look out for that full review if you really want to find out more about the race boards. But if you really want to paddle fast, you need as long a board as you can get and as narrow a board as you can get, and that's why they're the shape they are. Much narrower base boards in general, way easier to paddle, way easier for that glide, and again for the straight line tracking. Both the touring and the race board come with the same nice swept back slide in fin, which is really great for getting you easily paddling in that straight line, and it means you haven't got to change sides so much with your paddle blade. The race board's also finished off with the tail strip. If you're looking to paddling fast or give racing a go this year, at the retail price of £589, they do not break the bank compared to some other iSUPs that are over twice the price of that. And if you really want to cruise around, enjoy those picture perfect flat mornings and do a bit of fitness and a bit of yoga, then the Diana is the board for you. 11 foot long, 36 wide, super stable, gives you a load of stability to do fitness and yoga. It's not the fastest board to paddle, but if you just want to go and paddle around the lake, do a bit of stretching, that is a good sort of board to look at. And it retails at £459, so it's another board that's a good price point. Maybe you've already got a paddle board, maybe you're into a bit of racing, but you want to do a bit of fitness and yoga. I think this is the sort of price point you could probably afford to keep in the back of the shed just for those fitness flat water perfect days. Aqua Marina have got a few more boards than just that. They also do youth boards, multi-person boards and specialist boards as well, so check out their website for more information on that. But having a look at some of the paddles you can get with packages, Aqua Marina have got a few paddles in their range, but there's 4 standout paddles for us that you're probably going to come across and have to decide which one is best for you. You've got the cheaper price point, the 3-piece aluminium adjustable paddle. That is an aluminium shaft, it's a plastic blade, super hard wearing. It's the get into paddleboarding entry level paddle. Retails at about £36, fully adjustable. Not going to give you loads of performance, but it is going to get you on the water. Going up from that, you've got a 3-piece glass paddle. It's exactly the same blade shape as the cheaper 3-piece aluminium, except this is a bit of a stiffer shaft, so you're going to be able to put more power into your paddle stroke. You're going to be able to paddle further and not actually have to put as much effort in, and that Aqua Marina Solid has a retail price of about £56. Moving up from there, you've got carbon. Carbon in your paddles makes them lighter, makes them stiffer, basically makes it easier to paddle. You're going to be able to paddle further again than the glass paddle, and actually when you're paddling it's going to be a bit more responsive and easier to do that. So you've got the carbon glide, which is the same blade shape and blade construction as the other 2 cheaper paddles, except you've got a carbon 3-piece shaft, stiffer again, easier, put the paddle in much more direct with the power that comes out of the paddle. The carbon guide retails at $69.95. That's a very good price point paddle. If you really want to treat yourself, you get the Carbon Pro, which is basically the carbon shaft and the same clip and top sections, except it's got a carbon blade as well. Obviously a lighter the blade, lighter the bottom end of the paddle. When you go to bring your paddle back and put it in the water, it makes it just easier to do it. A lighter paddle in general is a faster, more comfortable paddle to paddle with, and once you've paddled with a carbon paddle, you won't ever want to not paddle with a carbon paddle. And that retails again at a very competitive price point of £110. The easy thing to think about when you buy paddles is you do get what you pay for. A cheaper price point aluminium is not going to be as nice to paddle as a more expensive glass or carbon paddle. So just bear that in mind. If it's an extra £30, $40, it is probably worth the upgrade if you can afford it. When you go to get your board, depending on what board it is, they do come with a wide range of bags, from a more basic simple stuff sack you clip your board in to a wheelie bag, and you can also upgrade to a premium backpack, which is much more refined and nice in fabric, and it's much more comfortable on your back. So if you're going to be using your board and carrying it long distances, it's definitely worth upgrading for the better backpack. If you're just going to be putting it in the car, personally all the backpacks do alright and they're nice and lightweight. But if you're after a backpack with wheels, you've got to go for the wheelie backpack or the premium backpack. And Aqua Marina also make a load of other accessories. Their dry bags are also worth checking out. They're pretty competitively priced and they're definitely what you need if you start doing a bit more adventures. So I hope you found that quick overview video of the Aqua Marina range informative. Remember, we're going to do a standalone review of the race board, and we're going to do a full comparison review of the all-round advanced range, really nailing in what person should buy what board in that range. So check out those soon. But until next time, we'll see you on SUP Boarder. Check out SUP Boarder Pro, and we'll see you back on YouTube. Thank you very much.